if John Hart told us that, you know, it'd be like, okay, well, we can wait 12 games. So that's definitely, if you're a true fan, yeah, you can't help but understand that aspect.
You're listening to the Sports Kings podcast. I'm Big Mike. The other voice that you're hearing is Rob Calloway. We're being brought to you via Spreaker.com. We can also be contacted via social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. All three at Sports Kings Live. Also email your boys at sportskingslive, at gmail.com. Right now we're kind of talking about a couple things. The backdrop being in my opinion, the overreaction to the Braves trading all-star closer Craig Kimbrell away to the Padres yesterday, along with Melvin Upton Jr. And it just put me in the mindset of people wanting these snap-your-finger championships. Like you snap your finger and your team's in contention next year. But that's not reality, especially in a sport where you play 162 times. It's like there has to be some sort of process going on. And as a fan base, you've got to be able to trust the people who are putting the process in place. And you got to know about these people. That's what I did. I went and found out, who is this dude? Who's this dude, John Hart? Because now people are saying, you know, he's infamous for doing this now, or he's doing this to us. No, he's doing things to us. All right, here's who this guy is. It's a guy who spent 13 seasons working for the Cleveland Indians. The team, actually, he led the team to 6 AL Central titles in 7 years in the 90s. Wasn't one of those titles when they beat the Braves for the World Series, Rob?
When the Braves beat them?
In the 90s?
Yeah, when the Braves beat them.
I'm thinking Minnesota. And a stretch with the Texas Rangers, which included their 2 World Series runs in 2010 and 2011. So when I look at a guy like this, like this in his resume, yeah, he's got some rope. He's a guy who's done it, and done it in 2 different places in the American League. So as a fan, like if I'm somebody who's claiming to be a fan of the Atlanta Braves, I gotta look at the person who's implementing the plan and the process and say, how much based on what he's done, how much can I trust him? This guy seems to be very trustworthy. Now, whether it works out or not, that's sports. You know, there's a two-way go on every street. But the fact of the matter is, this guy has done it before at a championship level. And if that's what the inevitable goal for the fan base here is, not like earlier, Rob, you said, well, the Braves wasn't terrible. That can't be the goal, to not be terrible. You dig what I'm saying? That can't be the inevitable goal. It has to be either be great. We'll try something out. We bring these bats in here. We got we'll discover Evan Gattis, because no one thought that was going to be what that was. But you bring in the Upton boys, and you got Jay Hay, the homegrown kid. You had Freddie. You got Andrew Chin. You got everything popping off. Dudes that can hit the ball a mile, but they striking out 100 times each every year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then don't forget, we had oh boy, thought he was a golden child to the Braves. Showed him some. Tyler Pastornicky.
Yeah,
and he was supposed to be like the second tournament, and that thing didn't work out.
And then the other problem that you're going to have as a Braves fan this year is getting Evan Gattis on the field, getting that bat on the field, because Christian Bethancourt was going to take that catching position, and you know Evan Gattis in the outfield is an adventure every time out. B. So
yeah.
You know, That's what I like about this. This is the part I like about being a baseball novice, because I'm not emotionally attached to anything. You know, I love the information part of baseball. I love learning about the metrics and the analytics that come with baseball, because that's basically all it is. So when I see that language, I understand it. Like the other stupid stuff that goes on about dudes staring each other down. Now you got to hit the dude with the ball and all this kind of food. Like, yeah, cool with that. Dudes can't flip the bat, or you got to run around the base at a certain pace. I'm cool on all that stuff. Give me the factual stuff, the numbers, and I'll ride with it. That's why I talk about my relationship with baseball being an amicable, and we'll have a cordial relationship. But, you know, we ain't going to never be in love, because, you know, she's stupid. That broad's stupid, and, you know, I'm not trying to have no conversation with her. We just going to lay down, get naked, and Maybe that was too graphic, but you get the point. She serves her purpose is what she serves her purpose is what I'm trying to say. So
I'm with you.
All in all, with me, like I've been in Atlanta my whole life, and I was the year before the Braves got good. 91, yeah, I was in 7th grade. And it was tough, man. It used to be tough. Because I remember being at the Braves game. You know, one of those field trips that they take the bad kids on as like a reward for not getting suspended for like 3 weeks or something. Like, you didn't get in trouble for 3 weeks. We don't give you a reward. And it really wasn't. It was going to see the Braves. You know, it was bad. It was a bad baseball team. And everybody was like all hot and bored. Like, oh, please, I just want to go home. Like, this is worse than the punishment. But inevitably, it got better. And at the time, you know, you're a kid. You don't understand farm system, and you don't understand prospects. And like, I'm an adult, and I still really don't understand how it all works.
But I'm saying the Braves back then, though, dude, like for real, okay, the Braves were terrible, man. Like the Braves have been terrible. The Braves have been like even during the Dale Murphy era, like the Braves were still terrible.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They weren't good.
Yeah,
so it's like the Braves might have been terrible for 15 years. You know what I'm saying? Before we ever turned things around back in 91. Like, they were terrible. You know, like, I still remember almost every player that we had that was supposed to be somebody. You know, it was terrible. But again, you know, I can wait. I can wait and see.
Yeah.
You know, I can wait and see. I mean, because they hired John Hart for a reason. You know, I mean, it's like, and sometimes you have to be known for the bad before you can be known for the good.
And that should just be the attitude, man. It should just be the attitude of the fan base in general, man. Just understanding that, you know, although, you know, and for a fan base, this is the other thing. I'm glad this came to my mind. For a fan base that's so ultra critical of that 90s run. Well, I mean, they only won one championship because that's the easiest thing to do in the world, win a professional championship. It's like, do you understand? Like, that's why I get so frustrated, because I saw where it came from. Like, I saw how, and I don't forget. I'm never going to forget Chuck Dowdle being on Channel 2 News, counting up every night. Like, are they going to get to 100 this year, too? What? Yeah, that was the most, like, as an Atlanta native, that's embarrassing, man. And so when they got good, like, to me, it didn't even matter, man. Like, when they got good, it was like, man, we got Glavine and Smokes and Avery and these boys, and Maddox came in, and everything was popping off. Ron Gant was in this piece, and the crime dog, and it was so much more life around the sport of baseball here. A championship would have been cool. They got one. All right, cool. But then people got spoiled. And people,
that's what happened.
If you're not here in Atlanta, you might not know what I'm talking about, but people here get spoiled quick. Like for example, let the Hawks go to the NBA champ or to the conference finals this year, right? And then end up being like the 5th seed next year. Man, it's gonna be bedlam. People gonna start selling they season tickets and burning jerseys. Well, they ain't gonna go that crazy, but I'm being hyperbolic when I say burning jerseys. But it's gonna be a totally different attitude towards the team. And the funny thing about it, that attitude would be that way if the Hawks went to 6 straight conference championships, or if they just went to this one and then go to another one for 10 years. That's the perplexity of the fan base here in Atlanta. Like, I don't understand how it's not one way or the other. Like, okay, in one sense, maybe you get bored, your team's always winning, but I don't see that jump happening in Green Bay. I don't see it happening in New England. Like, every year. And trust me, like, you know, like, Rob knows our guy Envy and our guy Jim Murray. Like, every year, every game is like the biggest game of the year
ever
for the Red Sox, for the Celtics, for the Patriots. But here, people got the nerve to get spoiled, or if not get spoiled by winning a bunch of them, like with the Braves, a bunch of pennants. Then you get this sense of apathy if the team, let's say, goes to the conference finals this year, and then they'll go to another one in 10 more years. Like, you get like all instead of appreciating the effort from this special group of guys this year, it's like, see, man, all them wins that one season, they went to the conference championship, but that was it. And you know how I know it's true? Because that's what happened with the Falcons. Conference championship, and then it was like, fire the coach immediately. Like, things took a downswing, fire the coach now. What? All right, cool, and it happened.
Well, you know, and that's a whole nother thing, man. I just had that conversation the other day. Like, like for real, like I respect, and you got on me about this because I said the same thing. You be like, and that means what? But I be like, well, we went to the conference championship, and you be like, and what? So it's like, so I understand. I mean,
there's a difference between respecting it and celebrating it. Like,
no, I'm saying, but I could be like,
no, when you say to me like, yeah, well, no Smitty team, the Hawks had some great season, and I say, Rob, great, really? You know what I mean? It's like, we got two different definitions of great. Then, like, appreciating something is a whole lot different than celebrating it. I'm not telling anybody to celebrate any sort of if you consider it mediocrity or if you consider it falling short, you don't have to celebrate it. But when it comes down to it, acknowledge that it happened. Don't act like it was some sort of aberration and now, back to the same old. It's like this is a woe is me thing. And then turn around and say, see, now we good. Nobody respects us. Like, you want everything. Like, here in Atlanta, the fans want everything. Like, they want people to feel sorry for them at one turn, but then when the team turns it around, now, what you mean you ain't talking about us? All right, which one do you want?
But see, again, that's the difference between the typical Atlanta fan and me, right? Like, again, I appreciate whatever, when these teams do have success, I appreciate it. Like, I don't hang my hat on it, because if it don't have a championship on it, I know that nobody cares. But the Braves, the run that the Braves went on is unprecedented. You know what I'm saying? Like, no other team in any sport will go on the run that the Braves went on. Like, they had and so, I mean, people just, I guess it's, people got, like the real fans got so used to winning that it's just like seeing everything else that's happening, seeing the Braves hanging up pennants to say wild card champion. Like, dude, it just hurts. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh my God, we could be so much better.
You can't do that as an adult. You can't do the it hurts as an adult thing. It's like I say, because then you become like, then next thing you know, I'm gonna have my phone out taking pictures of you crying because I don't know, Freddie Freeman got traded next week. Now Rob's crying. I got it on YouTube for everybody to see.
No, I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm just saying, like, dude, like for real, that's the one thing I'll say about, like, teams like the Braves. Like, the Braves have real fans, like fanatic, like what the word fan really means. Like, no other team in this city, the Braves, the Falcons or the Hawks, have the kind of fans that the Braves have. Like, these people, like, live and die Atlanta Braves baseball. Like, yeah, dude, it is like, they have the most loyal fan base in Atlanta. In Atlanta. The Dome is sold out, but it's a lot of times people come to see their team, But, like, when you go to a Braves game, like, 96% of everybody that's in there, if they got on Braves gear, they cheer for the Braves. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you build that through winning. So, you do have those diehards that, like, when Chipper retired, they were having, like, they had lowered their staff at half staff, or if you will.
Yeah, that doesn't make it any less ridiculous. Yeah, it doesn't make it any less ridiculous. I don't even think it makes you any more of a fan to do that.
Fanatic.
Yeah, I don't think it makes you any more of a fan of the team to do that.
Remember that. It means fanatic.
Why are you saying that to me?
It's
like, that's the type of thing that if someone said that to me, like a caller would say that to me, like, immediately. Like, you know what time it is. Like, there's no way. It'd just be, yeah, racket.
No, I'm just saying, so you gonna have some loosey-goosey moments by some of the fans. Like, you gonna have that. But again, you develop that through winning.
I think a good fan is an educated fan. I think that's what we need to change the narrative to. Like, a good fan shouldn't be considered the fan that does the wacky things like Lord my whatever at half mast, or like when LeBron leaves, I burn my jersey. And that shouldn't be considered a good fan anymore. We got to change the narrative. A good fan in 2015, especially in the information era, should be an educated fan. A fan that when something happens to your team, immediately, like you don't have to be like, yeah, once I looked at it rationally, like immediately the rationale should be the first response. The first response should be the rationale. Like again, when